Alright, we are back for the last episode of painting the legions of the Horus Heresy without an airbrush. And today we are doing the Alpha Legion, the only legion we have left. So I primed this guy with Black Templar. No, that's not what it's called. Chaos Black, there we go, from Games Workshop, Citadel. Then I sprayed him from above and sort of from the sides with Wraithbone. Nope, Grey Seer. Yep, that's how we do an intro on this channel. With Grey Seer. And now we're going to get straight into it with Eldari Emerald. This is not necessarily the perfect color for the Alpha Legion, but I think it's as close to perfect as you're going to get in contrast paint, which is what we're doing for this series. And I think it looks pretty good, to be honest. So I'm just going to apply this to the whole miniature. And you probably could just apply this straight over Wraithbone or straight over Grey Seer or whatever. But I actually did a test model for this, for the Alpha Legion, not really on purpose. I just happened to paint an Alpha Legion because I had a guy handy, and I just wanted to see what this color looked like over Slap Chop, which is where you dry brush white and gray over black. And it came out really well. So I figured that I didn't really want to do Slap Chop for this video, but I figured the Grey Seer over black would be a pretty similar effect. So like I said, I'm just going to apply this all over. I'm actually not going to apply it to the shoulder pads yet because I need to look at some reference images to see what would be most appropriate for the shoulder pads. So either I will come back and the shoulder pads will be just how we're going to leave them here, or I'll have painted them in with this color because they're just going to be the same color. So one way or the other, we will come back and do the next step. Alright, we're back, and I did decide, after looking at some reference images, that we are going to do Black Legion for the shoulder pads. I'm also going to do this for the bolter. So I will get these blocked in. I'm also going to remember, I haven't remembered the last couple clips, but the last couple videos, I mean, but I'm going to remember to block in the bits on the bandoliers on the chest here, so we can paint them in with silver later. Also, if I had been paying more attention, I would have not chosen this guy for the Alpha Legion, just because he has the strap hanging here. I'm not really sure what strap color goes with the Alpha Legion color scheme all that well. So, like I said, if I had been paying more attention, I would have just avoided the problem and not picked him. Got to touch up the green in there a little bit, but we can do that, no problem. So I'm just gonna make sure my brush is nice and moist here, and then paint this other shoulder here, just so that the contrast paint lays down nice and smooth. Don't want it too wet though, because then it won't lay down at all. It'll just pool at the bottom of the shoulder pad and look terrible. So just gotta be careful. Alright, so then I'm gonna block in this in here, right there. There's a little bit too much water in my contrast paint, or in my contrast paint. So I'm gonna grab this. Kind of hard to block it in with the bolter in the way. You could leave the bolter off if you were feeling spicy, but I'm not too worried about it. Then I'm going to paint in the joints of the armor here. Probably need a bigger brush, or a smaller brush for this, but you know, it's the last episode. We're cutting corners. What can I say? Just clean that up with my finger. Alright, and then I'm going to black in these conduits back here. They're going to be silver later, but in case we miss any, I want there to be black behind the silver, not green. Actually, I think I'm going to black in this area as well. We're going to paint these stripes or lines or whatever in silver, but we get the dark in there instead of the green showing through. Alright, and I think that's it for the black. Oh, gotta get this joint right here. And then this little one right there. Alright, so that should do it. I'm just going to touch up, there's some green right there I got to add in there. Just going to touch those up, let this black dry, and we'll come back and do the silver. Alright, we're back. And I think at the end of the last clip I said we were going to come back and do the silver, but I lied. We're going to come back and do the strap hanging from the bolter. We're going to use Garagax Sewer for this, however you might say that. Just a quick and simple cover the strap with this, and these straps can be a little tricky sometimes because they're wrapped up in the Marine's left hand, so we just have to make sure to get all of the parts in here. There we go. Alrighty. So, I'll let that dry, and then for real, we'll come back and do the silver. Alright, we are back, and we're going to add one of the last colors here. We're going to use Iron Hand Steel for this guy. And this is going to go pretty much for all the metallic on this guy. I don't think we're going to have any gold on him, so. Just going to start with the bigger brush and do these ports on the side of his backpack, and then I'll switch to the smaller brush for everything else. Being very careful around all this stuff, not wanting to nick any of it. So I'll switch to the smaller brush now, and we'll go in and do all the details. So I'll start with the bolter here and get the barrel itself, then this attachment point here where the strap attaches. I'm just going to do the other end while I'm thinking about it. I probably could have done the magazine here with the bigger brush, but that's okay. I'm going to do the whole magazine silver. And the reason I'm making the whole magazine silver and why I'm going to really paint in as many details on this bolter as I can in silver is because silver is really the secondary color of the Alpha Legion. And on like Mark III or Mark II or even Mark IV guys, there's trim to be painted, and you can paint that trim silver. But on these Corvus armor guys, there's really very little trim to be had. In fact, there's no trim to be had. So I really have to try to squeeze in silver in every possible place to really get the feel of the Alpha Legion still. In fact, as soon as I put this silver on this guy's head, I will show you an example of that guy I was talking about I painted earlier. You can see what I mean. This camera painted. So this is a Mark IV guy, and you can see. Well, first of all, he's a lot bluer than this guy. It's very interesting. But you can see all this trim he has on him that I was able to paint silver to really get that Alpha Legion vibe. And on this guy, not so much. But yeah, that guy was this same Eldari Emerald over Slapchop. So maybe Slapchop is the way to go for the Alpha Legion. But I think this can still look cool. I know Alpha Legion is usually depicted as metallic, but I didn't really want to do that for for this guy. I don't really know why. Just didn't want to. You are obviously welcome to. And if you wish to dislike this video because I did not paint the Alpha Legion metallic, I will not stop you. But I think they look kind of cool in non-metallic. Alright, so we're back, and I realized I forgot a step. When I brought that Mark IV guy in, I was looking at him like, what is the problem here? I forgot a step. So, we're going to take Frostheart and apply it over all the Eldari Emerald that we have here. And that will help shift our green a little bit bluer into a more Alpha Legion-y color. Yes, I should have done this second. That would make it a heck of a lot easier. But that's alright. We'll do it now. And you guys can learn from my mistake. So we're just trying to tint the green blue. We're not trying to color the green blue. So if you see big pockets of blue, you want to just wipe them off. Just trying to tint the green. And like I said, this to do this properly, this should be the second step, not the second to last step. And then you just, your first step is putting the Eldari Emerald on, second step Frostheart, and you're good to go from there. But it's okay. Just get this all in there. Now, when you do it second, it's really easy because you just cover the whole model and you can't really forget about any spots. Just covering the model, but when you're doing it like this, I feel like I'm going to forget something. Get it in there. Alright, so I will let that dry now that we have a little more Alpha Legion-y color. Then we'll come back. Oh, in the break I also just put some white in his eyes. We're going to put a color in there in a minute. But I'll let this dry, come back, do our last two colors, and call him done. Alright, so we are back, and we're going to do the eyes real quick. We're just going to use some ball red for this. I'm just going to put it straight over that white from earlier. Just like that. And like that. There we go. And then the only thing we have left to do is add some null oil. So I am actually going to use the old formula for this because doing a little bit more experimentation, I have noticed it's a little bit thicker, a little bit darker. This could be, though, that this is, I'm coming to the end of this bottle, and so it could just be that the pigment has settled on the bottom a little bit, and so it just feels a little bit thicker. But either way, I just want to darken this silver down a little bit more than I feel the new formulation will do. So going to do that, but you guys don't need to see me apply this all over the miniature. Right about now you should be seeing some pictures of him all done and on his base, the same base scheme that all the rest of them are on. And then hopefully also I will be including a picture of every Marine from this series all lined up next to each other. I really appreciate all the views on this series. If you watch them all, you're a legend. If you only watch the ones you were interested in, you're still a legend, don't worry. But yeah, I think that will do it for this episode and the series. Thank you very much, everybody, for watching, and I will see you on the next one.